Welcome back to another edition of the Disney Dish Podcast with Jim Hill. It's me, Len Testa, and today we're walking around Fantasyland in the Magic Kingdom. Jim's going to tell us what's been going on lately in the center of the Magic Kingdom, and also what's going to happen in the future. Jim, walk us through.
Remember, this park's been open since '71, but you have to take into consideration real-world changes. Right. And if we look over here at the Tangled Tower and Village area, also aka the Tangled Toilets, you'll notice a bunch of folks who have their computers out and their phones because this is a nice shaded area where you can sit and recharge your electronics, be it your phone, your laptop, your iPad, whatever you brought into the park.
Right, it's got outlets and USB ports.
That's it, exactly. And so the fact that Disney had to find a way to accommodate this, because so many guests were asking, I bring my electronics into the park, and this is how I'm recording my vacation.
Right, and we're not going to bring, die-hard batteries with us to recharge everything, right?
Yeah, sometimes you have to build a park and then let the public in to figure out how to do it. I mean, take, for example, right now, we're in front of Small World, and we can see the entrance in front of us, but for those of us who've been going to this park for 40 plus years, remember, this was originally the exit. But it was a situation where so many strollers would get crammed in this area, and it was such a pinch point to make the entrance in the middle of the land right across from Peter Pan.
Yep.
The efficiency folks who work with Disney, it's like, look, this is lunacy. Let's swap the entrance and the exit. It'll make it that much more enjoyable a guest experience and help with crowd control issues. This is mid-morning on a Tuesday, and we've got crowds of this size. Yeah. Imagine what this is like during Christmas week.
Oh, during Christmas you can't even see the ground. It's there's that many people in it. So what about let's walk over here towards Pinocchio Village House, and we'll turn around and we'll talk about Peter Pan, because that was one of the last rides to get a Scene 1 or a plussed up entrance. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Peter Pan is one of those must-do attractions at both Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disneyland Paris. And what they did by creating the Scene 1, it was about extending the queue.
Right, making the queue covered.
Yep, and to that end, it worked. It was so expensive to build, it was so much money to maintain. In the end, the takeaway from Magic Kingdom management was like, really, the money we've spent on Scene 1s, we could have built an actually really for real ride.
Yeah, I think they learned what everybody who's ever done a remodeling project learns, that it costs more money and you'd never do it again.
Yep. If we pivot here just for a sec, we have Mickey's PhilharMagic across the way. The nice thing about Mickey's PhilharMagic is that if you're looking to do a new show, you don't have to build a new animatronic. You don't have to build a new vehicle. You just have to do a new film. And what they're talking about now, this came in the early 2000s, and Disney's had hits like Frozen and Tangled and that sort of thing.
Which aren't represented in the ride.
Also, Disney's gotten a lot better at doing a CG Mickey, so they would really like to circle back on it, because right now there are better pictures of the Bigfoot than there are of Mickey.
CG Mickey?
Yeah, so.
That's funny. Jim, what about Princess Fairy Tale Hall, which we're seeing over here? It's been, it's not as popular as it was the first couple months it opened, but this has been a steady attraction and I think a good addition to the park. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. But these days, when you define a Disney princess, take a look at who you can see now. You have Cinderella, and then right next to her you have Elena. From Elena of Avalor, which is a Disney Junior show.
Right, it's a television. Hasn't even made a movie yet.
Yeah, but in the eyes of consumers, doesn't matter. It's she's a full princess, just in the same way as Cinderella's a full princess. So.
That's fantastic. And Jim, we're walking towards the area now known as New Fantasyland.
Yep.
We're 6 years into the original opening of New Fantasyland. We're 4 years since Seven Dwarfs Mine Train has opened. What does Disney think of New Fantasyland?
I think overall it has done exactly what they wanted to do. It took the most popular land in the park, doubled its footprint, in much the same way as Elena of Avalor.
Avalor, right?
Yeah, Avalor.
Avalor sounds like a new Toyota.
No, you brought a thrill ride into the park with
family appeal.
Yeah, and at the same time, you've got Belle here, you've got Ariel, you have all of the franchises that weren't represented at Disney World Fantasyland finally have footprints.
They've got their own attractions now, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can see any cars running through, any trains running through. Mine Train. Oh, here we go. Let's see what we can see here. It's all is quiet on the mountain right now, Jim.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, no, here we go. Yay! Yay! All right, awesome. And then Enchanted Tales with Belle.
Yep.
The most elaborate character greeting I've ever seen. Has Disney ever had any more expectations of it other than that? Or is that good enough?
You have to understand this was sort of the proof of concept to walk out more, story-driven guest experiences. And in a weird sort of way, the Summer Who's over at Epcot is kind of the same thing with fewer storytelling elements. But I think in the end, Beauty and the Beast is a franchise that Disney is, considerably invested in. Man, we just saw the giant live-action film that did so well 2 years ago. And they're happy with how that's done, or more to the point, how Be Our Guest done. I mean, think about, we're now breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah, I mean, if they could somehow work a brunch into there, I think they would. So Be Our Guest, still one of the most popular restaurants in the Magic Kingdom. Not the highest rated anymore, but very near the top. They, Jim, this is one of those restaurants where they're selling it out 3 times a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, every sitting, all the time. Still very, very difficult to get reservations for. Well, they're not impossible now that they've expanded the...
No. Those of you who are wondering, yes, ahead of the 50th anniversary of the Walt Disney World Resort, in much the same way that Disney comes through and does the touch-up of paints at Mickey's Toontown in California, look for this entire area to get a repaint, to get a plus. They'll be doing things like even pulling out the grass on the top of Ariel's Mountain, or the faux rockwork that covers the show building for Ariel's Undersea Adventure, and making it that much more green and that sort of thing.
And Jim, we're walking up here to Gaston's Tavern. It's a small, quick service location. It's got a few things, cinnamon rolls in the morning, the size of shoe boxes. They've played around with the rest of the menu quite a bit, but one thing that's stayed the same, Gaston himself is one of the I think more favorite new character greetings in the park. How did they come up with that?
That's the thing about a lot of the Disney villains, particularly those that have a sense of humor about themselves, or seem to, or allow that. They become popular. I mean, look here, they literally had to create a space, because what was happening is initially Gaston would just come out and wander the streets and he'd be mobbed. Yeah. And so it was like, okay, now we actually have to create a space where he stands. And thank goodness, again, in the Florida sun, they give the poor guy a little shade. So
that's good. Oh, there he is. Yep. All right, we're walking up to Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid. This is one of the original new Fantasyland attractions to open. It was popular for a time. It's settled it down into the sort of routine that we see over at Disney California Adventure as well. So not the most popular attraction in the land, but a people eater nonetheless.
Oh,
right?
No, that's exactly. When you have a continuous feed Omni-mover at the heart of this thing.
Wait time currently 5 minutes.
There you go. When you're a parent with small children, you see a ride built around a popular character with a 5-minute wait.
Yeah, you're on it.
That's it, exactly.
And what about the Ariel character greeting over here in Ariel's Grotto? Now they moved this from behind where the carousel is currently, which was primo location, right? Prime spot. Over here to sort of the back end of New Fantasyland.
One of the reasons it was a prima location because of the storytelling. You had Ariel sort of built out of coral grotto right at the edge of the old 20,000 Leagues Lagoon. It felt like it was telling the story. And, you're right, it was right on the open. People would see it and there'd be a tremendous line. Here, yes, Ariel is, kind of hidden away. In fact, I want to say they've jumped the size of the sign outside a couple of times.
I'm surprised they don't have Sebastian out front telling people that she's inside.
She's inside. Better go get her now.
Sebastian's Irish now, is he, Jim? All right, Jim. We're coming up on Storybook Circus here, which is the old Mickey's Toontown, Mickey's Birthday Land. Now it contains Dumbo, the Barnstormer, and Pete Silly Circus character greeting. Also, Big Top Souvenirs, one of my favorite retail locations in the entire park.
Well, more to the point, it was also
one of Disney's favorite.
Yes,
Let's walk through it.
Again, you remember when they initially announced the plans for New Fantasyland, this whole area was going to help support the Disney Fairies franchise.
Oh, sure. Oh, that's right, Disney Fairies. I remember that.
Yeah, and the pushback from management was considerable.
About using the fairies?
Back when this was Mickey's Toontown Fair, this was County Bounty. This is where people got dumped into after they did the character greeting outside of Mickey's house. And so this is where parents would wait for their children to come back
And Jim, if you're going to wait, I mean, these are the things that you're going to wait for.
As a diabetic, I feel like just looking at them, I should be reaching for my metformin.
Oh, they've still got, it's not Before Christmas, but look at the treats that you get here. And I wish we could give everybody a sense of the
Oh,
smell.
they're actually doing, in fact, that's one of the things that's great about here is that we have an open kitchen. You can watch them making the very same treats that, you can purchase here.
And the smell is incredible.
Oh my God, yes.
This is literally my favorite retail location in the entire park. It's amazing, and everyone does such great work. Everything is super pretty. Thank you, folks. All right, let's continue on.
Okay.
Coming up, we've got character greetings for Pete's Silly Circus, and then also another area by the train station, which is also a relaxation and recharging port over here. So Pete's Silly Sideshow. God, I keep messing up that name.
That's okay. That's okay. And again, remember back in the day, Pete did have a presence in Mickey's Toontown Fair. And and by the way, they committed. That's Jim Cummings, the actual voice of Pete from the cartoons. He recorded the spiel.
Oh, that's fantastic. Waits are 10 minutes for everyone. All right, let's walk over here, Jim. We'll see the seating. It's actually not. It's never that busy, but it's fantastic. And again, they've got places where you can charge your phones. I think they used to have recliners here. Recliners are gone. That's sad. Oh, it's a Jingle Jam now. They moved it out for the Christmas party. So it's a dance thing now.
Okay, is this where we find Wayne and Lanny from Prep and Landing?
I don't know, but it sounds familiar.
Okay. We'll end by walking down here with sort of a cautionary tale about you design things and then you have to change things. Yes, the water play area here.
Oh, Casey Jr.
Yeah. See, initially the whole notion was that Casey Jr. would be right out in the open and that kids could run around and play on him and that sort of thing. And in the end, they put it in the ground and safety took one look at it and it's like, there is no way we are letting you let kids climb on top of that train.
Oh, there's no way they would slide off.
Yeah.
Is anyone playing with it today? Oh, you got some kids that are super interested. Oh, someone's going in. Here we go. You go, little girl. Be brave. Oh, she made it through without getting wet. That's fantastic.
But look at that. The whole conceit of this initially is it's the turntable by the Roundhouse. In fact, the restrooms are in the Roundhouse.
Right.
And in the end, the Imagineers propose something, and then safety comes in and goes, nope, you got to put up a rail, and you got to block that off, and that's where we are. So.
All right, Jim, let's do this. Let's take a walk over into Tomorrowland, and we'll finish up our series on the Magic Kingdom there. How's that sound? All right, folks, you've been listening to the Disney Dish podcast with Jim Hill. We're produced fabulously by Aaron Adams. Please go onto iTunes or Stitcher or on the side of a railroad car and write a review and tell us what you would like to hear next. For Jim, this is Len. We will see you on the next show.